Ina refuses to serve man food, he shows up in uniform next day. She wouldn't explain why she wouldn't serve him. Baker was seeing red. He didn't stand in line for 45 minutes to be treated like this. And he certainly wasn't used to people disobeying his command or looking down on him like this. No one should be. It was clear she had no idea who he was or what authority he had at his fingertips. And he couldn't wait to see her face when she found out. It was a much-needed day off for Alexandria, VI man, Carl Baker. After working a string of 12-hour shifts, he was more than ready to sit back and relax. He had his day all planned out. He was going to sleep in, eat out, enjoy the outdoors and finish the day relaxing in front of the TV with a drink in his hand. But things weren't about to go as planned. Baker woke up to his dog jumping on his bed, the sun shining on his face. It was already midday. He got dressed, poured himself a cup of coffee, and thought about where he could go to enjoy a decent brunch. Decided, he hopped in his car and headed toward a diner he'd never been to before on the outskirts of town. It was a decision he'd later regret. They looked at him with complete disdain. It had been a long minute since Baker faced such blatant disrespect. His line of work usually kept him from being treated like this, but no one here knew who he was. Baker entered the diner and joined the line. His hunger grew as he read the menu on the wall, as did the minutes as he stood in line. He had long narrowed his pick down to 2 dishes. They were worth the 40-minute wait of standing in line. Although it was an unusually long time to wait to place an order, Baker was a patient man. But soon, something else was about to push his patience beyond its limit. By the time Baker finally arrived at the till, he was famished. But what unfolded next would send anyone's head spinning. Baker politely greeted the cashier who greeted him back with a look that resembled impatience or annoyance. She was chewing gum, obviously not having a good day. He ordered his food. To his surprise, she replied that his order wasn't possible today. He moved to his second option. Again, it wasn't available. Disappointed, he looked up at the menu and ordered the only other dish he wanted. She rolled her eyes and repeated her earlier reply. Now, Baker was more than annoyed. He just spent a whole lot of time queuing for food that was outlined in chalk under today's specials. If he knew these dishes weren't available, he wouldn't have waited. Now, her bad attitude along with their false advertising pushed him to say something. But before he could open his mouth, it was as though she read his mind. "Listen, mister, if you're not going to order, you need to leave," she snarled. "Can I speak to your manager?" Baker asks. She calls to the back and a woman comes out. She looks at Baker and then to the line behind him. "What's the problem here, sir? You're holding up the people behind you." Overlooking the insulting insinuation that he was the cause of these ridiculous lines, he explained what happened and how management should fix the problem, but her response made his blood boil. "I understand that things didn't go your way today, sir, but that's life. Now, if you could kindly remove yourself from my establishment. I don't serve men like you," she sneered. "Men like me?" Baker replied incredulously. What did she mean, men like him? Baker demanded she elaborate on what she meant by people like him. But what she did next would settle any doubt in his mind about a retaliation. "I don't need to explain what I meant to anyone. Get on out now before you cause a scene," she snipped. Baker was seeing red. He wasn't used to people disobeying his command like this. And he certainly wasn't used to people looking down on him. No one should be. It was clear she had no idea who he was or what authority he had at his fingertips. He often thought walking around without his uniform was a good way to see what people were really like. And this proved it. With nothing further to say, Baker left the diner. He was upset, angry and mortified by their behavior that he just couldn't let go unpunished. He was going to forget about the distressing start to his day and return to deal with this ordeal tomorrow during work hours, in the uniform that serves as a reminder to treat and serve everybody with respect. How would they react then? The next day, Baker put on his chief of police uniform, went to work and stopped by at the diner on his way to another call. He pushed through the doors, face stern. The aura of his presence filled the entire diner. The faces of all the workers suddenly perked up, including the cashier who was now much more attentive. She welcomed him with a smile which slowly faded once she recognized him. He asked for the manager. But today, there was a different manager working. She immediately apologized for how her colleague handled the situation and vowed to launch an internal investigation into the activities of her co-worker. By the time the story was verified, it had reached social media as witnessed by the onlookers that day. Now, the diner was forced to release a statement. The statement read that they expect the highest ethical and personal behavior from its team members. "We value each of our guests and are committed to treating everyone with dignity and respect. We do not tolerate any form of discrimination." Following the incident, there has been talk among social media to steal from the diner. However, Baker made his position on this clear. He declared how he is not in support of cancel culture, nor does he want to see any crime come to the diner as a result of this. He also discourages anyone from trying to boycott the establishment. Take the high road, he urged. The actions of a few does not equate to the actions of many. An important reminder at a time of unbending chaos.